shadow box. Shadow box. There you go. Shadow box.
The guys I'm working with right now in camp is Keith Jardine's getting ready for his fight in the UFC in Vegas in a couple weeks. Kyle Noak, who was on the Ultimate Fighter, is getting ready for his. Carlos Condit's next weekend in Canada. And then the day after Keith Jardine is Frank Gomez in a WEC fight up in Edmonton, Canada. So that's the short term. In August, we got Joe Stevenson, Clay Guida, John Jones, a whole bunch of people having a fight. So we're staying pretty busy.
You're staying pretty busy. So what's your training schedule right now in the gym now that all these people are fighting? Like, how do you get a chance to work with everybody?
You know what? All we have here is our pro class. We have in the mornings, we have pro class every morning, and on Mondays and Wednesdays they do mostly grappling and jiu-jitsu type of fighting. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays we do stand-up as well as in the cage we'll have takedowns, that type of thing. I always run the classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and over and above that I pull guys out of the other class, and throughout the day I run privates with them because I'm a big believer in a lot of one-on-one, a lot of repetition. So I do a whole bunch of mitt work, trying to get them to become competent at what they do without thinking about it, just through a lot of repetition.
Cool. I know the last time we talked you were enthusiastic about Keith fighting again. Can you tell me a little bit about that and your feelings on his training camp so far?
His training camp's been great. Keith's that guy. You know, I guess I do have favorites around here, and there's a reason why. Keith's kind of our team leader. He hasn't seen the success of a Rashad Evans, for instance, or even George coming down from Canada, but Keith's that guy that everybody listens to. He's the guy that does things for others without them knowing about it. So if there's one guy I want to help out in the gym, it would be Keith Jardine. Extremely tough, hard-headed. I wish he didn't get hit as often as he has in his fights. The camp's looking good. We're cleaning up things. We know what people are looking for. Just a couple little corrections. We were almost there on his last fight with Bader. We were seconds away, just ran into a punch. I think with Matt Hamill, it's going to be a good fight for Keith. Matt Hamill's a tremendous wrestler, so we definitely respect what he's got and what he's bringing to Keith. But I think Matt's going to stand with him just a little bit. I think that's going to be a big mistake. And what people don't know about Keith is his ground game. Keith off his back is incredible with his jiu-jitsu, and wrestling-wise, he can go with anybody. He can always get up, so it's just going to get Matt Hamill tired, taking him down, and he's going to run into one of Keith's big punches or kicks. So we're excited about it.
Cool. Are there any other fighters that you're looking forward to maybe fighting later on in the year, or just something that you're looking forward to this year?
You know what? Getting Joey Villasenor back in the cage here pretty soon. We failed against Jacare in this last strike force. Joey got held down for 2 of the 3 rounds, basically. We were disappointed with how it worked out. Joey was real nervous. The guy's incredible. You know, he's one of the best ground guys in the game. But Joey got up. I know a lot of other fighters out there are asking Joey, "How'd you get up? How'd you do that?" They're watching his tapes, trying to figure out how he got up off the ground. But that fight was 1 or 2 punches away from ending at any point in time. Once Joey started sitting down on his punches, letting him go. I wish he would have, after the fight, before the fight, had the kind of confidence that he had in himself after the fight. He was just real nervous, wasn't quite himself, and Joey's there. I think he can go to the top real quick with the right fights in front of him.
Do you think a little bit of that was ring rust, or?
Oh yeah, he had to fight in a year, and before that it had been a year. You know, he's always in here helping everybody out. But that's tough. You know, it's tough when you don't get to work on new things for yourself. You're always here helping others, and you become that guy in the gym after a while. When it's your fight camp, things change. You know, you have those hormones going through your body. You have to push that much harder, and you become that much a better fighter. So I think if we can get him in right away again, I'm excited for him. We'll get him going. Joe Stevenson's going to fight Gomi, who just fought Florian, failed against Florian. Going to be a good fight. You know, this time Joe's definitely going to have to take him down and beat him up down there on the ground. But Gomi's a left-hander, and Joe's very good against lefties. So we have some good ideas to strike with Gomi standing up before he takes him down.
Cool. Right on. With Joey, does he have... he has a contract with Strikeforce? Or
yeah, he's got a contract with Strikeforce. The UFC wants him. I've had a couple talks with Joe Silva when I'm there. I'm not Joey's manager, but yeah, Joe wants him. He'd love to sign Joey for the UFC, but Joey couldn't get out of his contract. And that was the hard part about it, is he's supposed to get 3 fights this year, guaranteed by Strikeforce. It's going to be tough, you know, so hopefully they're going to have to keep him busy, or they're going to have to let him out of his contract, and the UFC will pick him up.
So then, do they have prospects for his next fight? Or?
And there's no talk right now. They did call about a fight that they wanted him to fight 2 weeks after his fight, but he had an injury. I'm not even sure who the opponent was. We didn't get that far just because of his injury. But no names so far.
No names so far.
We'd be happy with Dan Henderson.
You know where I am.
Close that gap, that front foot, that step, you key in on it, Frank. You key on that front foot. That's it, Frank. Expect you just when to come in. Perfect, Mr. Gomez. Yeah.